Dong Nation, Jackson, Jennings, it's your boy, the Viking Donkey. We're going to be joined by Gingy. We are going to have a great take on the Steelers 2026 NFL Draft, a breakdown, some rankings. But first, let's hit them with the intro.
Nonsensical Pittsburgh Steelers talk. Every single week we take that walk through the history, the present, and the future bright. Steel City story shining ever so light. Yeah, Viking, Donkey, Gingy, Lasker, a legendary crew. Talking Steelers football through and through.
That's right, Dog Nation. We are here, and we have Gingy to make it nonsensical for the Steelers talk. The final day of the draft just happened. Lots of picks to get to, lots of reaction to have. Gingy, I don't really dislike this draft class, but I don't really like this draft class, and my reasoning is simple. I feel like a lot of these picks were just taken like a round to half a round too early. Like, that's the biggest complaint I have, Gingy. How are you feeling after the draft in Pittsburgh with the most important thing to be said, the 57th overall pick getting a lifetime supply of Heinz ketchup? Come on, man. Good times.
That's crazy. That's some good stuff. Gingy in the house. Overall, I think that draft kind of looked a lot like what I called previously in Daily Dose Donkey.
Mm-hmm.
Got a tackle. Got a slot
Got Jeremy
receiver.
Bernard.
Yep. Slot receiver. Biggest surprise for me was Drew Aller in the third round. Didn't really see where that was coming from.
Early, in my opinion.
Didn't really. I don't know. Does that guy got what it takes?
He's a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. If you want to talk about a quarterback who has the size, the this, you talk about all those other things, right? And we talked about it in one of the pre-ones, man. Drew Aller meets the criteria of, oh my God, his skill set's there. Just like all the other quarterbacks that are taken after him that I might have liked more. All these dudes have the same skill set. Taylor Green ends up going in the 7th round or 6th round to the Browns. I think he's a very similar type of guy. But clearly the Steelers liked Aller, liked what they saw from Aller. And I'm not going to complain about it, man, because I think he was a half a round to a round too early. But the talent levels off the charts in terms of his arm strength and arm ability. Just, he never really put it together in college, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the elephant in the room, Donkey, for the draft is this first round. Being on the phone with one guy and getting another guy. Hoodwinked by Jerry Jones, hoodwinked by the Eagles. Is that ultimately a benefit or a drawback, though? Mekhi Lemon instead going with Hienachor.
Ihanachor, good job. Like, I've been practicing that name all day, so good job, Gingy. I'm proud of you on that one.
Could.
I'm proud of you on that one.
So I'm not upset with that pick, but ultimately, Donkey, did we lose or did we win with that debacle?
Okay, so we're gonna label this two ways. Mekhi Lemon's talent is off the charts. Mekhi Lemon, being a douchey personality from all accounts, is off the charts. The question is, do you want full-blown end-of-career AB before you get the production? That's a lot of the question here. That's why he slipped down as far as he did. I don't know. We'll find out. I think the Steelers have had enough problems with that type of thing, and they don't have a commanding leader on that offense right now. Aaron Rodgers comes back, things change, right? But that's a young team, and I personally think avoiding bad attitudes when you don't have a culture to keep it in check is important. So I think the Steelers win there. Now, let's take step 2, though. The Steelers get to the next pick, and the only offensive tackle I still have rated as a first-round talent goes about 9 picks later to the Patriots. We take a guy that I saw as a second-round talent purely because, Max, he's going to stick at right tackle if he sticks anywhere. He's raw right now. The footwork needs some help. The hands need some help. He is a dude who over 3 years, I don't think he's been attributed a sack given up. So that's good. And when you put on the tape against Texas Tech, the number 2 overall draft pick goes up against Max the whole time, and he dominates him, man. So there is definitely some upside in this pick, but a guy who's a little bit raw and a guy who's going to be stuck to right tackle, to me, it's just not. You can't. At 21, the value's just not right. I mean, he turns out to be a great tackle. That's good, but normally great right tackles are second round picks. And normally they're NFL ready. I'm not sure he's day one NFL ready. I like the kid. I like him as a prospect. I just think he was taken a half a round too early, Gingy. That's all.
Yeah, not out of the question. There's a clear upside there, right? Like we've seen, got him on tape. He's got some great play. I'm not upset at the pick, but it is a project. It is. I don't think it's a day one plug and play guy. I think there's a lot of moving pieces associated with this. It's all, again, this all. I feel like we really did ourselves a disservice by putting all these offensive linemen out of position when we got them. Because all these people now slide around now to go back to the positions they were supposed to be playing, but there's no guarantee that chemistry works.
Hey, I have
do
faith.
All this.
I have faith in this new coaching staff to be able to develop an offensive player. Never had faith in the old one to do that. So, I have a little faith things will get better on that. But all in all, I'll say first round grade is a B- for me, Gingy. I like the player, but it's a little early. I'm not going to hate on the pick. To me, an average pick for slot is a B. This is slightly below that for me.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a B+, Donkey. I mean, looking at the position that I called pre-draft, it is a tackle. I think that is I'll be honest with you, I think that was the best guy available at that certain position, at that pick. So I can't be upset with it.
If you feel that way, that's totally good to go. Like I said, he was a second round rate for me, and there's still a first round tackle that went later to New England that was there for me. Now we get to the second round. We had to trade up to get him, but dude, I talked about him. I loved him. This is who I told you if I drafted, this is the way I would get, because the guy who runs the best route tree and is going to be the best slot receiver out of all the first, second round names is without a doubt to me, Journey Bernard from Alabama. We get him. Kid's about 6'1", 6'2"-ish, 200 pounds, runs a 4.48, not the top breakaway speed. But between him and Roman Wilson, the slot position has to be solved, Gingy. I love this pick. This pick to me gets a solid A. That's the dude I want. That's the round I wanted him.
Love it. A for me, too. Called it last week. Wanted a slot guy. I think he's going to sit along the complement of Metcalf and Pittman very well.
All right, then let's move on to the third round. First pick of the third round for the Steelers is Penn State quarterback Drew Aller. Big arm, a little bit of accuracy questions, pretty good athlete, 5-star kid coming out of high school, starts instantly at Penn State's a pretty good player, but man, he went to Penn State. He was surrounded by these big tools, and he never put on a show like Will Howard did at Ohio State. I know him and Will Howard are going to fight it out. I don't mind the prospect. When we talked about it, I said there's this group of 6 guys who are all the same to me. He was one of them. I think the third round's early for him. For that reason, this might be my lowest rated pick for the Steelers. This one just gets a C for me, and it's not Drew Aller's fault. This was a full round too early to take one of these project quarterbacks.
Yeah, for me, the Donkey, I don't disagree with you. Actually, I don't want to just copy you or whatever, but going C sounds right for me if this means that Aaron Rodgers is coming back. If Aaron Rodgers isn't coming back, I think you need to fill out your QB roster more, and this pick becomes a little bit more advantageous. But if Aaron Rodgers is coming back, I don't know why you pick a QB in the third round. I still think that there's value enough at other positions of need on the board that we could have taken a shot and another. We had 3 picks in the third round. We could have taken a different shot. At this
if Aaron Rodgers comes back, this pick's an F for me, Gingy, because if Aaron Rodgers comes back, why the hell do you have 2 developmental quarterbacks on your roster?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This pick drops. This pick, I'm putting it as a C with the expectation of no Aaron Rodgers, because that's what it has to mean to me. All right, next we take Dalen Everett, cornerback from Georgia, another guy, mid 4.4 speed, good size. I think he's 6'2". Good size, good fit, a little handsy, not the greatest at getting to the football. He's like a less talented Joey Porter Jr. I'm totally fine. I like this pick. I think I give him a B plus. His tape is really good. Like I said, a little handsy, but his tape is pretty solid. He really does remind me in his play style of Joey Porter Jr., just not quite as athletic, as not as quick in the hips, I guess is what I'll say, as Porter was. So I have to say a B plus here for a mid third round pick.
Yeah, add some depth to the roster. I don't know if I would have went corner. We're still looking for a guy on the defensive line. I'm going to go for, at this point in the draft, right, based on what I was talking about last week, we still need that guy, and I think that guy was there at that point. I don't disagree with the pick. I don't think it's a bad pick. I don't think our team is worse off for it, but I think we could have done better. B minus.
Gingy, I think the defensive coaches are fully sold on Waya Black more than we are. That's what this draft told me, is they have a hell of a lot more confidence in Waya Black than being put out there. And also, they have more confidence in Logan Lee than we're giving people credit for. Two former draft picks in the last year or the year prior draft. I think there's a lot more like for them in the building than it's being portrayed to the outside world based off this draft. We get to pick 99, the last pick of the third round for the Steelers. You know, we had three of them. We get Jennings Dunker, offensive tackle from Iowa. If he plays at tackle, my God, that's a terrible pick because he's a little not good enough with his feet. Speed rushers get past him way too easy. But the thought here is he's moving inside the guard. He's got a big red mustache and mullet. He has to wear number 69. And if all of those things happen, this pick is an A plus just for that reasons. But all in all, to me, this is your solid pick. This is what a B pick is. This is taking the right guy at the right place.
Right guy, right place. Love the idea, moving him inside. Good character quality. Love the hair. Love the stash. B plus.
He is Yinzer Nation ready from get-go. All right, we get
Absolutely.
to round 4. Unfortunately, we don't end up with my draft darling slide or love that slid and McCoy, you know, knee problem, corner, top 10 talent, gets picked the first pick of the fourth round. We end up taking a kick returner out of Iowa, Caden Wetjen. I think he had like 500 yards receiving total over his 3 years, but kick returner of the year, averaged about 30 yards a punt return, 30 yards a kick return. I think he had 3 or 4 return touchdowns going on out there. With the new kickoff rule, I do not hate this pick. Fourth round seems like the round where you start taking specialty guys, and he is a good specialty guy, good enough speed to be in the NFL, is never really going to develop into a receiver unless Iowa just misused him crazily. Another solid B pick to me here, Gingy. It's the right guy, right type of guy, right place again. Put on some of them highlights. He tends to bounce the ball a little outside too much, but I'll break that down more when I do the individual things. A little too bouncy, I think, in the return game. We'll have to straighten it up a little bit, but, you know, good time to take a chance on a guy like that.
Specialty guy. Excuse me. Position of need. Becoming a more important position on the team, right? Don't have a problem drafting a guy that high when kick returners are becoming more valuable in the game. Yeah, give me a B on that.
And that means we want back-to-back Iowa guys there because the rules now are Steelers have to draft 2 Iowa guys at least every year. I think was it 3 last year or was Logan Lee the year before? Because if Logan Lee was last year, it's him, Waya Black, and Caleb Johnson. And we triple dipped into that black and gold love affair, Gingy. It's a little crazy thing going on there. The black and gold is the black and gold pipeline.
Black and yellow connection, right?
Yep. We'll move on to the 5th round. We'll move on to Riley Nowakowski, tight end fullback from Indiana. Hey, baby Hayward, we found your replacement. Here he is, Gingy. That's exactly what he is. Another B pick for me. Good guy, fills the need of a position you lost. You know, nothing spectacular here. It wasn't like this guy was a 3rd-round talent that fell. This is the round you take a guy like that, and they did it. And, well, you know, solid. That's all I can say.
Yeah, now we're starting to get more into special teamers, practice squad guys. Yeah, nothing wrong here with this pick. Still looking for our defensive tackle donkey. We're falling out of the places where we can get that one at this point. Probably my biggest disappointment of the draft.
Gingy, the defensive tackle is the next pick, 6th-rounder.
I
We
know.
take Gabriel Rubio, defensive tackle from Notre Dame, 6'6", 330. I have one issue. I still think the Steelers need a 5 technique, and this guy is Isaiah Loudermilk. Nothing wrong with Isaiah Loudermilk in the 5th round, but Donkey wanted a big nose plug. And just for that reason, it's not that I think Rubio's a bad pick in this spot, but just because it's not a big nose plug, he's a B- for me. Because yes, it's a defensive tackle. No, it's not a nose. That makes me sad.
Yeah. Same thing for me, Donkey. Yeah, you can call it a tackle, but it's not what we needed there. We're still going to get beat up by the run game right up the middle, Donkey. We need a big guy anchor in the middle. Not a bad pick, but I'm not sure whether it fits into what our position in need. C plus.
Okay, we get to the 7th round, and I actually really love one of these 7th round picks. But let's get to the first one. Safety, Oklahoma, Robert Spears Jennings. Athletic dude, mediocre ball skills, mediocre tackle skills, prototypical 7th round safety, probably going to be a special teamer. If he builds his way up, maybe you get to see him a little more. My biggest comp would be, you remember Elijah Riley, the kid who was like an Army or Navy kid that the Steelers had play here for a little bit, like a practice squad guy. But when you put him on the roster, sometimes he can do good, but then when he's there for a long time, gets overexposed. That's exactly what I see here. Right spot, right value.
To round out the squad. A little bit of depth at safety position. Never hurt anybody. Give it a B for me.
Now we get to a guy who set all sorts of receiving records at Notre Dame, listed as a running back or not Notre Dame, Navy, excuse me, at Navy, set all the receiving records at Navy, listed as a running back, gets to put off his service for a little while. Eli Heidenreich. Now, I have to say he sounds like he should be in the German Navy, not the U.S. Navy with that name, but, it is what it is. Kid who grew up a Steelers fan, used to go to games at Heinz Field, talked about how his favorite player was James Harrison, because that's the first jersey he ever got growing up, and it made me feel a little old, because I was like, man, he probably got that jersey at like 6. I would have got that jersey in my teens. So, made me feel a little old there, I'm not going to lie. But seeing the reaction for him, really, honestly, when you hear Navy, you expect him to not be, prototypical size, but 6 foot, 200 pounds, runs in the 4.4s. He actually has the makeup of an NFL player, played at Navy. He's pretty shifty, good with his hands. I love this pick, not just because, it's a local Navy kid getting a chance to play for the Steelers, but, and that's hard for me. I would prefer an Air Force kid. So, this was like the kill donkey draft. We drafted a Penn State quarterback and a Navy running back. Whatever, not here nor there. A plus for this pick, just because this kid instantly comes in, can probably give you a contributor, but worst comes to worst, keep him on your roster as the 53rd man to be a special teams ace and just be that high character person to put in the right place.
Yeah, hometown favorite pick, Donkey. Good value, good position. Good guy. Give it an A.
That wraps up the draft part here, Gingy. Like I said, I don't mind the Steelers draft, but if you heard, it was just too early for me. A lot of these picks were too early for me. To me, when you draft, the base grade starts at a B because no one gives E's or F's as draft grade. So I want to keep it relative to what everyone else gives. So base grade's a B. For me, I like the players. I just didn't like the positions. I drop it down to a B minus just because I feel like we overdrafted a couple times. And overdrafting your first pick in the 3rd round and your first pick in the 1st round, man, it's hard to give it just even the average grade at that point.
Yeah, for me, I don't know if we got value, but we clearly draft for position and need. I don't think we're thinking about value, quote unquote, when we're drafting as a team. I don't think that's an Omar Khan philosophy thing. I don't know, Donkey. I think I would have been a little bit more aggressive. I know we moved up for the guy we wanted in round 2. I wouldn't mind moving up in round one. We had an abundance of picks in the third round, and if one of those third round picks don't land, we could have done a lot better. But I'll give it a B minus because I think we did address positions in need.
That's absolutely fair to say. We'll talk about the priority, I guess you'll call them, undrafted free agents. I'll tell you right now, none of these dudes move the needle for me at all. Arizona State tight end Shimon Matire comes in. Kansas kicker Laeth Marjan comes in. Syracuse defensive lineman Kevin Jobity Jr. comes in. Okay, I kind of want him to make the team. I really like his name.
Come on, let's keep it together.
Dude, his name is Jobity. Like, come on, dude, that is awesome. He deserves to make the team just for that. USC tight end Lake McCree comes in, another guy who more talent than production on the field there. And Indiana defensive back Devin Boykin comes in. Never wrong to take a dude from a national championship team. Obviously, talent levels there, right? None of them move the needle for me. I don't think I see one that I'm like, I really think he has a chance of making the roster, right? I do not see Jaylen Warren in this group, Gingy.
No, I don't think so either. No comment.
So, I guess unless you have some crazy news story, Gingy, that pretty much brings us to an end of what we're going to talk about this week. Just keep it short, simple, and on the topic of the NFL draft. Any final thoughts you want to say? Any huge shout-outs you want to give? And, Gingy, did this year's first-round draft pick save Renegade for the Steelers Nation, or is this the final nail in the coffin?
We shall see, donkey. I don't know. Yeah, short and sweet. There'll be many other nonsensical times to review. Hypotheticals, applications, everything around this. Really just wanted to cover the content and the actual folks drafted. No major shout-outs, but only other thing I wanted to cover is any other draft day spectaculars that really surprised you. 320,000 people in that spot in Pittsburgh. Holy smokes, that's pretty crowded.
All right, someone who likes these things, break it down for me what the mindset is. Why the hell do I want to go stand with 300,000 other people to hear names called when I can sit on my couch and be comfortable?
It's a very good question.
I get like concerts, I get sporting events because they're their moments. But the draft, dude, come on, man.
Crazy, set a record, I believe.
It did for the first day. It beat the other one, which is going to get shattered next year in D.C., I bet.
But, yeah, really no surprises at the top with Mendoza. What do we think about Ty Simpson?
Ty Simpson, a third-round quarterback in the first round. I don't give a crap that the Rams.
Ty Simpson.
I don't give a crap that the Rams thought he was the second best quarterback in the draft. My God, what a terrible pick. And it's two reasons it's a terrible pick. One, he doesn't project as a plus starter. He projects as maybe a starter, like the maybe a starter thing. And you're in a division that's hyper competitive right now with the Seahawks and the Niners, and you're going to waste a first round pick on a dude who's not going to help you for 3 years? My God, Gingy. The worst pick of the draft, and it's not even close.
Crazy, right? I was shocked. There's a lot they could have had there, but that they chose not to have.
I'm going to tell you this right now, dude. You put on the college tape from last year, and you tell me how Ty Simpson's a better quarterback than Drew Aller, Nussmeier, Carson Beck, and or Tylen Green, who, by the way, all went second, third, fourth, and seventh round. You tell me how Ty Simpson's better than them, and I'll laugh in your face.
Crazy.
Like, I wasn't even sold on Mendoza being Mendoza to me was like the Baker Mayfield draft, right? He's a first-round talent, but he's like a back half of the first-round talent. But there's no other quarterback, so you take him one overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I hated that pick. I hated that pick with a passion. Anyone who wanted the Jets offense to become more athletic, by the way, this is the team I will give the biggest kudos to. I think the Jets team just became more athletic and more competent. However, I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to use them properly, so I think it's just going to blow up in their face anyway.
Yeah,
But I thought they did
the
a nice job
Jets.
with all 3 first rounders being good prospect talents for where they did, which surprised me the most because normally when you hear the Jets trade into a pick, they're going to draft someone that no one wanted. They're going to be the ones that take Ty Simpson, right?
Right. That's what you expect.
Yeah, all in all, this was a draft that, Gingy, it was very much outside of Ty Simpson, exactly what you expected if you evaluated the prospects, right? They almost everyone went where they expected. The big slide would be McCoy, of course. He's really only the big slide. You could say the kid from Ohio State, the defensive tackle who didn't go to the second round, who showed up to the draft, was a slide. But really, there was only one spot for him to go, and when he didn't go there, you knew he was in the second round.
Yeah, no other big surprises for me, really.
Nah.
In that way.
My shout out definitely has to be to Heinz Ketchup for giving the lifetime supply to whoever number pick 57 was. I should have done some more research and looked it up, but I didn't care. I spent all day today trying to learn all the Steelers draft picks names so I wouldn't screw them up. So my shout out goes to Heinz Ketchup. Just, dude, that's such a Yinzer thing to happen. And also, there was a part on ESPN or ABC, excuse me, where they were doing like Yinzer terms, and Kyle Louise. The Steelers didn't draft you, and I'm kind of sad about it, but I'm kind of happy about it because how the hell do you spend 4 years at the University of Pittsburgh and not learn Yinzer terms? My God, that was an embarrassment. I did not like that. Nope.
Gotta cut him a break, donkey.
I do
Normal
not
people
have
don't
to
speak
cut him
like
a break.
that.
Yeah, but dude, if you go 4 years at Pitt, you're going to learn the ones they use. So I was like, I'm done. I'm done with you, man. You let me down. Anything else, Gingy, before we wrap here? I guess we kind of inadvertently went to the shout out part.
Yeah, I don't have anything else for you, donkey.
All right, then I'm going to let him know that I am the Viking Donkey. This is your daily dose of Donkey with Ginger. Of course, that's Viking_Donkey at Twitch or Twitter. And be tuning in this week because I don't know if it'll start tomorrow or on Monday, but I'll be doing about a 5-minute maximum breakdown of every player, and I'll put one out each day for each round. I'll try to keep each show under 5 minutes. The hardest one's obviously going to be the third round because those guys actually deserve a really in-depth breakdown, and there's 3 of them. So maybe I'll throw one into the 4th round breakdown as well. But it should be about 7 days of breakdowns doing each pick. Tune in, see what you like. I'll give you their measurables. I'll tell you their college tapes, and I'll tell you what I see as strengths or weaknesses. Because a lot of times I don't agree with the ones that you can get online, which I guess nowadays is guys like Greg Zerline and those types that actually give you breakdowns and player comps. I'll give you my player comp for every one of the Steelers picks. Gingy, sign it out. Let them know. Put a plug in. Who cares?
Mutant Gingy in the house, hanging out, talking football, watching draft, next round's of Steelers. Shout out to all the boys. Here we go, Steelers. Wave them if you got them.